Hello, and welcome to this special 1 hour and 45 minutes Slow English Listening Practice podcast, made just for beginners like you.
Are you looking for an easy and effective way to improve your English listening skills? Do you want to understand real English, learn new words, and feel more confident when you speak? If yes, then you are in the right place. This video is made just for you. Here, you will listen to simple and interesting stories about daily life, family, hobbies, travel, and much more. I will speak slowly and clearly so you can understand every word, even if you are just starting to learn English. Why is this video important? Because listening is one of the best ways to learn a new language. When you listen to English for a long time, your brain gets used to the sounds, words, and sentences. This helps you remember new vocabulary, improve your pronunciation, and understand native speakers better. You can watch and listen to this video while you study, relax, or even before you sleep. Each story is short and easy, and after every story, I will ask you some simple questions to help you check your understanding. So, if you want to really improve your English, stay with me until the end. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more English learning content. Are you ready? Let's begin our English journey together. Hello and welcome to this slow English listening practice for beginners. My name is Stuart. I am 22 years old. I live in a small town in England. My town is called Oakville. It is a quiet and friendly place. I live with my parents and my younger sister. My father's name is Peter. He is 50 years old and works as a mechanic. My mother's name is Susan. She is 48 years old and she is a nurse. My sister's name is Lucy. She is 16 years old and goes to high school. I am a student at the local university. I study computer science. I like learning about computers and technology. Every day I go to university by bicycle. My classes start at 9 o'clock in the morning. I usually finish my classes at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. In my free time, I enjoy playing football with my friends. I also like listening to music and watching movies. On weekends, I sometimes visit my grandparents. They live in a village near my town. We have lunch together and talk about many things. I feel happy when I am with my family. Thank you for listening. Now let's check your understanding. Questions. What is the speaker's name? How old is Stuart? Where does Stuart live? What does Stuart study at university? What does Stuart like to do in his free time?
Every day I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I get out of bed and go to the bathroom. I wash my face and brush my teeth. After that, I eat breakfast with my family. I usually have toast and a cup of tea. At 8 o'clock, I leave home and ride my bicycle to university. My classes start at 9 o'clock. I study computer science, so I have classes about programming, math, and computers. I like my teachers because they are friendly and helpful. At 12 o'clock, I have lunch in the university cafeteria. I usually eat a sandwich and drink some juice. After lunch, I have more classes until 3 o'clock. When my classes finish, I go home. In the afternoon, I do my homework and study. Sometimes I play football with my friends in the park. In the evening, I have dinner with my family. After dinner, I watch TV or listen to music. I go to bed at 11 o'clock. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What time does Stuart wake up? How does Stuart go to university? What does Stuart eat for lunch? What does Stuart do in the afternoon? What time does Stuart go to bed?
My family is small but very close. There are 4 people in my family: my father, my mother, my sister, and me. My father's name is Peter. He is 50 years old. He works as a mechanic. He fixes cars and helps people with their vehicles. My mother's name is Susan. She is 48 years old. She is a nurse. She works in a hospital and helps sick people. My sister's name is Lucy. She is 16 years old. She goes to high school. She likes art and music. She plays the guitar and sings very well. Sometimes we sing together at home. We like to spend time together. On Sundays, we have breakfast together. My mother makes pancakes and tea. After breakfast, we go for a walk in the park. Sometimes we play board games or watch movies at home. My family is very important to me. They help me when I have problems, and we always support each other. Thank you for listening. Now let's check your understanding. Questions. How many people are in Stuart's family? 1. What does Stuart's father do? 2. What does Stuart's mother do? 3. What does Lucy like to do? 4. What does Stuart's family do on Sundays? My family is small but very close. There are 4 people in my family: my father, my mother, my sister, and me. My father's name is Peter. He is 50 years old. He works as a mechanic. He fixes cars and helps people with their vehicles. My mother's name is Susan. She is 48 years old. She is a nurse. She works in a hospital and helps sick people. My sister's name is Lucy. She is 16 years old. She goes to high school. She likes art and music. She plays the guitar and sings very well. Sometimes we sing together at home. We like to spend time together. On Sundays, we have breakfast together. My mother makes pancakes and tea. After breakfast, we go for a walk in the park. Sometimes we play board games or watch movies at home. My family is very important to me. They help me when I have problems, and we always support each other. Thank you for listening. Now let's check your understanding. Questions. How many people are in Stuart's family? 1. What does Stuart's father do? 2. What does Stuart's mother do? 3. What does Lucy like to do? 4. What does Stuart's family do on Sundays?
I live in a small house in Oakville. Our house has 2 floors. There are 6 rooms, a kitchen, a living room, a bathroom, and 3 bedrooms. My bedroom is on the 2nd floor. It is not very big, but it is comfortable. I have a bed, a desk, a chair, and a small bookshelf. I like to read books before I go to sleep. The kitchen is my favorite room. My mother cooks delicious food there. We eat breakfast and dinner together in the kitchen. The living room is where we relax. We have a sofa, a coffee table, and a television. On weekends, we watch movies together. The bathroom is small but clean. It has a shower, a sink, and a toilet. My parents' bedroom is next to mine. My sister's bedroom is across the hall. We all keep our rooms tidy. There is a small garden behind our house. In the summer, we have barbecues and play games in the garden. I like my house because it is warm and full of love. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. How many rooms are in Stuart's house? What is Stuart's favorite room? What does the family do in the living room? Where is Stuart's bedroom? What do they do in the garden in summer? I have many hobbies. My favorite hobby is playing football. I play football with my friends every Saturday afternoon. We play in the park near my house. I am the goalkeeper. I like football because it is fun and good exercise. I also enjoy listening to music. My favorite kind of music is pop. I listen to music when I do my homework or when I relax. Sometimes I listen to music with my sister. She plays the guitar and sings. We have a lot of fun together. Another hobby I have is reading. I like to read books about science and technology. I also read stories and novels. Reading helps me learn new things and improves my English. On weekends, I sometimes go hiking with my family. We walk in the forest and enjoy nature. I take photos of trees, flowers, and animals. Hiking makes me feel happy and relaxed. Thank you for listening. Now let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What is Stuart's favorite hobby? 2. When does Stuart play football? 3. What kind of music does Stuart like? 4. What does Stuart like to read? 5. What does Stuart do with his family on weekends?
Hello again. Today, I want to tell you about my best friend. My best friend's name is James. He is 23 years old. James and I have known each other since we were children. We went to the same primary school, and now we go to the same university. James is tall and has brown hair. He is very friendly and always helps other people. He likes sports, especially basketball. Sometimes we play basketball together at the sports center. James is also very good at drawing. He often draws pictures of animals and nature. We like to spend time together. We go to the cinema, play video games, or just walk around the town and talk. James is a good listener. When I have a problem, I talk to him. He always gives me good advice. Last summer, James and I went camping in the mountains. We made a fire, cooked food, and slept in a tent. It was a great adventure. I am happy to have a friend like James. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What is the name of Stuart's best friend? How long have Stuart and James known each other? What sport does James like? What is James good at? Where did Stuart and James go last summer? Today, I will talk about my university. I study at Oakville University. It is not very big, but it is a good place to learn. The university has many buildings. There are classrooms, a library, a cafeteria, and a sports center. My favorite place is the library. It is quiet and has many books. I go there to study and do my homework. The cafeteria is also nice. I eat lunch there with my friends. The food is simple, but it is tasty. My teachers are kind and helpful. They explain things clearly and answer my questions. I have classes in computer science, mathematics, and English. Sometimes we work in groups and do projects together. There are many students from different countries at my university. I like meeting new people and learning about their cultures. We sometimes have events and parties at the university. It is a fun place to study. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What is the name of Stuart's University? What is Stuart's favorite place at the university? Where does Stuart eat lunch? What subjects does Stuart study? Are there students from different countries at Stuart's University? Let me tell you about my town. My town is called Oakville. It is small but beautiful. There are about 20,000 people living here. Oakville has many trees and parks. The air is clean and the streets are quiet. In the center of town, there are shops, cafes, and a big supermarket. There is also a post office, a bank, and a library. I often go to the library to read or study. On weekends, I like to go to the park with my friends. We play football or just relax on the grass. Oakville has a river. In the summer, people go fishing or have picnics by the river. There is also a small museum and a cinema. I sometimes go to the cinema to watch new movies. People in Oakville are friendly. They say hello when you walk by. I like living here because it is safe and peaceful. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What is the name of Stuart's town? 1. How many people live in Oakville? 2. What can you find in the center of town? 3. What do people do by the river in summer? 4. Why does Stuart like living in Oakville?
Today, I want to talk about my favorite food. My favorite food is pizza. I love pizza because it is delicious. and you can put many things on it. My favorite pizza has cheese, tomatoes, mushrooms, and olives. Sometimes my family makes pizza at home. My mother prepares the dough, and my sister and I put the toppings on the pizza. We bake it in the oven. The smell of fresh pizza is wonderful. I also like pasta, especially spaghetti with tomato sauce. On Fridays, we often eat pasta for dinner. I like to eat salad with my pasta. For dessert, I like ice cream. My favorite flavor is chocolate. I try to eat healthy food. I eat fruits and vegetables every day. I drink water or juice, but I do not drink much soda. Eating healthy food gives me energy and helps me feel good. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What is Stuart's favorite food? What toppings does Stuart like on his pizza? Who makes pizza at home with Stuart? What is Stuart's favorite dessert? Why does Stuart try to eat healthy food?
Let me tell you about my weekend. On Saturday morning, I usually wake up at 8 o'clock. I eat breakfast with my family. After breakfast, I clean my room and help my mother in the kitchen. Sometimes I go shopping with my father. We buy food and other things for the house. In the afternoon, I play football with my friends in the park. We play for about 2 hours. After football, I go home and take a shower. In the evening, my family and I watch a movie or play board games together. On Sunday, I like to relax. I read books or listen to music. Sometimes I visit my grandparents. We have lunch together and talk about our week. In the evening, I prepare my bag for university and go to bed early. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What does Stuart do on Saturday morning? 2. Who does Stuart go shopping with? 3. How long does Stuart play football? 4. What does Stuart do on Sunday? 5. When does Stuart prepare his bag for university?
Hello again. Today, I want to talk about my pet. I have a cat. His name is Milo. Milo is 3 years old. He has soft gray fur and green eyes. He is small but very playful. Milo likes to sleep during the day and play at night.
He loves to chase balls and jump on the sofa. Sometimes he hides under the bed and surprises us. Milo also likes to sit by the window and watch the birds outside. Every morning, I feed Milo. He eats cat food and sometimes a little bit of chicken. I give him fresh water every day. I also clean his litter box and brush his fur. Milo is a clean and happy cat. I love my cat because he makes me smile. When I feel tired or sad, Milo comes and sits next to me. He purrs and makes me feel better. Having a pet is a big responsibility, but it is also a lot of fun. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What is the name of Stuart's cat? How old is Milo? What does Milo like to do at night? What does Milo eat? Why does Stuart love his cat?
Today, I want to talk about my favorite season. My favorite season is spring. In spring, the weather is warm, but not too hot. The days become longer, and the nights are shorter. Flowers start to bloom, and the trees become green again. I like spring because everything looks fresh and new. I enjoy walking in the park and seeing the colorful flowers. Birds sing in the morning, and I can hear them from my window. In spring, I also like to ride my bicycle. The air is clean and cool. Sometimes my family and I have picnics in the park. We bring sandwiches, fruit, and juice. We sit on the grass and enjoy the sunshine. Spring is also the time when I feel more active. I play more sports and spend more time outside. I think spring is the best season of all. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What is Stuart's favorite season? What happens to the trees in spring? What does Stuart like to do in the park? 5. What does Stuart's family bring for a picnic? Why does Stuart feel more active in spring? Let me tell you about my favorite subject at university. My favorite subject is computer science. I like computer science because I enjoy working with computers and learning how they work. In my computer science classes, I learn about programming, coding, and how to solve problems.
I use a computer almost every day. I write programs and create simple games. Sometimes I work with my classmates on group projects. My teacher is very helpful. He explains things slowly and answers all my questions. I like to ask questions because it helps me understand better. I think computer science is important for the future. Many jobs need computer skills. I want to become a software developer one day. That is why I study hard and try to learn as much as I can. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What is Stuart's favorite subject? 2. What does Stuart learn in his classes? 3. What does Stuart create on his computer? 4. Why does Stuart like to ask questions? 5. What job does Stuart want in the future? Today, I will talk about shopping for groceries. Every Saturday, I go shopping with my father. We go to the supermarket in the center of town. We make a shopping list before we leave home. At the supermarket, we buy bread, milk, eggs, and cheese. We also buy fruits and vegetables like apples, bananas, carrots, and potatoes. Sometimes we buy chicken or fish for dinner. I like to help my father find the things on our list. I push the shopping cart and put the food inside. After we finish shopping, we pay at the checkout. Then we carry the bags home. Shopping for groceries is important because we need fresh food every week. I enjoy shopping with my father because we talk and spend time together. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. Who does Stuart go shopping with? Where do they go shopping? What do they buy at the supermarket? What does Stuart do with the shopping cart? Why does Stuart enjoy shopping with his father?
Let me tell you about going to a restaurant. Sometimes my family and I go to a restaurant for dinner. We usually go on special occasions like birthdays or holidays. When we arrive, we look at the menu. The menu has many choices. I like to order pizza or pasta. My sister likes chicken and chips. My parents sometimes order fish or salad. We talk and laugh while we wait for our food. The waiter brings us drinks first. I usually have orange juice or water. When the food comes, it smells very good. We eat together and enjoy our meal. After dinner, we sometimes order dessert. I like chocolate cake or ice cream. When we finish, my father pays the bill and we thank the waiter. Going to a restaurant is a nice way to spend time with my family. Thank you for listening. Now let's check your understanding. Questions. When does Stuart's family go to a restaurant? What does Stuart like to order? What does Stuart's sister like to eat? What does Stuart drink at the restaurant? Who pays the bill?
Hello again. Today, I will talk about my morning routine. Every morning, I wake up at 7 o'clock. I turn off my alarm and get out of bed. First, I go to the bathroom. I wash my face and brush my teeth. Then, I take a shower and get dressed. After that, I go to the kitchen. My mother is usually there making breakfast. I help her set the table. For breakfast, I usually eat toast with butter and jam. Sometimes I have cereal with milk or a boiled egg. I drink a cup of tea or a glass of orange juice. While I eat breakfast, I talk with my family. We talk about our plans for the day. After breakfast, I pack my bag for university. I check if I have my books, notebooks, and my laptop. At 8 o'clock, I leave the house and ride my bicycle to university. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What time does Stuart wake up? What does Stuart do first in the morning? What does Stuart eat for breakfast? What does Stuart drink in the morning?
Now I will talk about my evening routine. After I come home from university, I usually have a snack. I eat a piece of fruit or a biscuit. Then I do my homework and study for my classes. Sometimes I listen to music while I study. At 6 o'clock, my family and I have dinner together. We talk about our day and share stories. After dinner, I help my mother wash the dishes and clean the kitchen. In the evening, I like to relax. I watch TV or read a book. Sometimes I play a board game with my sister. At 9 o'clock, I get ready for bed. I brush my teeth and wash my face. Before I go to sleep, I check my phone for messages and set my alarm for the next day. I go to bed at 10 o'clock. Thank you for listening. Now let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What does Stuart do after coming home from university? 2. What time does Stuart have dinner? 3. Who does Stuart help after dinner? 4. What does Stuart do to relax in the evening? 5. What time does Stuart go to bed?
Today, I want to talk about my favorite holiday. My favorite holiday is Christmas. I like Christmas because I can spend time with my family and friends. We decorate our house with lights and a Christmas tree. My sister and I hang ornaments on the tree and put presents under it. On Christmas Eve, we have a special dinner. We eat roast chicken, potatoes, and vegetables. For dessert, we have Christmas pudding or cake. After dinner, we listen to music and sometimes play games. On Christmas morning, we open our presents. I like to give gifts to my family. It makes me happy to see them smile. Later, we visit my grandparents and have lunch together. We talk, laugh, and enjoy the holiday. Christmas is a time of joy and kindness. I always look forward to it every year. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What is Stuart's favorite holiday? 2. How does Stuart's family decorate the house? 3. What does Stuart's family eat for Christmas dinner? 4. What does Stuart do on Christmas morning? 5. Who does Stuart visit on Christmas Day? Let me tell you about my favorite place. My favorite place is the park near my house. The park is big and has many trees, flowers, and a small lake. There are benches where people can sit and relax. I go to the park almost every day. I like to walk on the paths and listen to the birds. Sometimes I take my bicycle and ride around the park. I also play football with my friends on the grass. In the summer, my family and I have picnics in the park. We bring sandwiches, fruit, and drinks. We sit on a blanket and enjoy the fresh air. The park is a peaceful place. I feel happy and calm when I am there. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What is Stuart's favorite place? What can you find in the park? What does Stuart do in the park? What does Stuart's family do in the summer? How does Stuart feel in the park?
Today, I want to talk about my dream vacation. I would like to visit Japan one day. I am interested in Japanese culture, food, and history. I want to see the cherry blossoms in spring and visit famous cities like Tokyo and Kyoto. If I go to Japan, I want to try sushi and ramen. I also want to visit temples and gardens. I would like to see Mount Fuji and take many photos. I think it would be exciting to travel by train and see the countryside. I hope to learn some Japanese words before I go. I want to meet new people and make friends. My dream vacation is to explore Japan and learn about its traditions. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding.
Questions. 1. Where does Stuart want to go for his dream vacation? 2. What does Stuart want to see in Japan? 3. What food does Stuart want to try? 4. What does Stuart want to visit in Japan? 5. What does Stuart hope to learn before his trip?
Hello again. Today, I want to talk about my favorite sport. My favorite sport is football. I have played football since I was a child. I play as a goalkeeper for my local team. We practice twice a week and play matches on Saturdays. I like football because it is exciting and helps me stay healthy. I enjoy working with my teammates and learning new skills. Sometimes we win our matches, and sometimes we lose, but we always have fun. I also like to watch football on TV. My favorite team is Manchester United. I watch their games with my friends or my father. We cheer for our team and talk about the players. Football is a big part of my life. It helps me make friends and teaches me about teamwork. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What is Stuart's favorite sport? 2. What position does Stuart play? 3. How often does Stuart's team practice? 4. What is Stuart's favorite football team? 5. What does football teach Stuart?
Today, I want to talk about my favorite book. My favorite book is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. It is a story about a young boy named Harry who learns he is a wizard and goes to a special school called Hogwarts. I like this book because it is full of magic and adventure. The story is exciting, and the characters are interesting. My favorite character is Hermione because she is smart and brave. I read this book for the first time when I was 12 years old. Now I have read it many times. I also watched the Harry Potter movies with my family. Reading books is a great way to relax and use your imagination. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What is Stuart's favorite book? 2. Who is the main character in the book? 3. Why does Stuart like the book? 4. Who is Stuart's favorite character? 5. What does Stuart
think about reading books? Let me tell you about my favorite movie. My favorite movie is The Lion King. It is an animated film about a young lion named Simba who becomes king of the jungle. I like this movie because it has a great story and beautiful music. The songs are fun to sing and the animation is amazing. My favorite part is when Simba learns to be brave and take care of his friends and family. I watched The Lion King for the first time with my sister. We both loved it. Sometimes we watch it again on weekends. Watching movies is a nice way to spend time with my family. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What is Stuart's favorite movie? 2. What is the movie about? 3. Why does Stuart like the movie? 4. Who did Stuart watch the movie with? 5. What does Stuart think about watching movies?
Today, I want to talk about my favorite music. I like pop music the most. My favorite singer is Ed Sheeran. I enjoy his songs because they are easy to listen to and have good lyrics. I listen to music every day. I listen when I do my homework, when I ride my bicycle, and when I relax in my room. Sometimes I listen to music with my friends. We share our favorite songs and talk about new artists. Music makes me feel happy and helps me relax. I also like to sing along to my favorite songs. My sister plays the guitar, and sometimes we sing together at home. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What kind of music does Stuart like? 2. Who is Stuart's favorite singer? 3. When does Stuart listen to music? 4. What does Stuart do with his friends? 5. How does music make Stuart feel?
Let me tell you about my goals for the future. I want to finish my studies at university and become a software developer. I hope to work for a good company and create useful computer programs. I also want to travel to different countries and learn about new cultures. I think traveling is a great way to learn and grow. I want to visit places like Japan, the United States, and Australia. In the future, I hope to have my own family. I want to live in a nice house and have a happy life. I also want to help other people and do something good for my community. I know I need to work hard to reach my goals, but I am ready to try my best. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions.
What does Stuart want to do after university? Where does Stuart want to travel? What kind of job does Stuart want? What does Stuart hope to have in the future? What does Stuart want to do for his community?
Hello again. Today I want to tell you about a day at the beach. Last summer, my family and I went to the beach for a day. We woke up early and packed our bags. We took towels, sunscreen, snacks, and water. The beach was not far from our town. When we arrived, the sun was shining and the sky was blue. My sister and I ran to the water. The sea was cool and fresh. We swam and played in the waves. After swimming, we built a sandcastle. My father helped us make a big castle with towers and a moat. My mother took photos of us. Later, we ate our snacks and drank water under an umbrella. In the afternoon, we walked along the beach and collected seashells. We found many different shapes and colors. Before we left the beach, we watched the sunset. It was a beautiful day, and I felt happy and relaxed. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. Where did Stuart's family go last summer? What did Stuart and his sister do in the water?
Today, I want to talk about visiting the doctor. Last month, I had a cold. I was coughing and had a sore throat. My mother told me to visit the doctor. We went to the clinic in our town. The doctor was friendly. He asked me about my symptoms and checked my temperature. He listened to my chest and looked at my throat. The doctor said I had a small infection. He gave me some medicine and told me to rest and drink lots of water. After a few days, I felt much better. It is important to visit the doctor when you are sick. Doctors help us get well and give us good advice. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. Why did Stuart visit the doctor? 2. Where did Stuart go for help? 3. What did the doctor do? 4. What did the doctor give Stuart? 5. What did Stuart do to feel better?
Let me tell you about using public transport. In my town, we have buses and trains. I often use the bus to go to university. The bus stop is near my house. I wait for the bus in the morning. When the bus comes, I get on and find a seat. I pay for my ticket
and sit quietly. Sometimes I listen to music or read a book on the bus. The bus takes about 20 minutes to get to the university. It is usually not very crowded. I like using the bus because it is cheap and good for the environment. Sometimes I take the train to visit my grandparents. The train is fast and comfortable. I enjoy looking out the window and watching the countryside. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What public transport does Stuart use? Where does Stuart go by bus? What does Stuart do on the bus? How long does the bus ride take? Why does Stuart like using the bus?
Today, I want to talk about helping at home. At my house, everyone has jobs to do. I help my mother in the kitchen. I set the table, wash the dishes, and sometimes help cook dinner. My father takes care of the garden. I help him water the plants and cut the grass. My sister helps clean the living room and her own bedroom. On weekends, we all clean the house together. We dust the furniture, sweep the floors, and take out the rubbish. Helping at home is important. It keeps our house clean and teaches us to work together. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What does Stuart do to help in the kitchen? Who takes care of the garden? What does Stuart's sister do? What does the family do on weekends? Why is helping at home important?
Let me tell you about a visit to the library. I like going to the library in my town. It is a quiet place with many books. I go there to study, read, or borrow books. Last week, I went to the library to find a book for my English class. I looked on the shelves and found a book about travel. I also borrowed a novel and a magazine. The library has computers and a reading area. Sometimes I use the computer to do my homework. The librarian is friendly and always helps me find what I need. I think libraries are important. They help people learn and enjoy reading. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. Where does Stuart go to read and study? What did Stuart borrow from the library? What can you find in the library? Who helps Stuart at the library? Why does Stuart think libraries are important?
Hello again.
Today, I want to talk about a rainy day. Last week, it rained all day in my town. When I woke up, I heard the sound of rain on the window. The sky was gray and there were big puddles on the street. I put on my raincoat and took an umbrella before I left the house. I rode my bicycle to university, but I had to be careful because the roads were wet. When I arrived, my shoes were a little wet, but I was happy to be inside. During the day, it kept raining. At lunchtime, I stayed in the cafeteria with my friends. We talked and watched the rain outside. After my classes, I went home and changed into dry clothes. In the evening, I made a cup of tea and read a book. I like rainy days because they make me feel calm and cozy at home. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What was the weather like in Stewartstown? What did Stewart wear when he left the house? Where did Stewart stay at lunchtime? What did Stewart do in the evening? How does Stewart feel about rainy days?
Today, I want to tell you about a birthday party. Last month, my sister Lucy had her birthday. She turned 17 years old. My family planned a small party at home. We decorated the living room with balloons and streamers. My mother baked a chocolate cake, and I helped her make sandwiches and snacks. We invited some of Lucy's friends and our grandparents. When everyone arrived, we sang Happy Birthday, and Lucy blew out the candles on her cake. We ate, played games, and listened to music. Lucy opened her presents and thanked everyone. It was a fun and happy day. I like birthday parties because they bring family and friends together. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. Whose birthday was it? How old is Lucy now? What did Stewart's family do to decorate the house? What did Lucy do with her cake? Why does Stewart like birthday parties?
Let me tell you about a school trip I remember. When I was in high school, my class went on a trip to a science museum in the city. We traveled by bus, and everyone was excited. At the museum, we saw many interesting things. There were old machines, dinosaur bones, and a big planetarium. We watched a show about the stars and planets. I learned a lot about space and science. We had lunch in the museum cafe. After lunch, we visited the gift shop. I bought a small model of a rocket as a souvenir. In the afternoon, we took the bus back to school. It was a great trip. I enjoyed learning new things and spending time with my classmates. Thank you for listening.
Now let's check your understanding. Questions. Where did Stuart's class go for the school trip? How did they travel to the museum? What did Stuart see at the museum? What did Stuart buy at the gift shop? What did Stuart enjoy about the trip?
Today, I want to talk about learning a new language. I am learning Spanish at university. I think learning a new language is interesting and useful. In my Spanish class, we learn new words, practice speaking, and listen to conversations. Sometimes we watch videos or listen to songs in Spanish. My teacher is from Spain, and she helps us with our pronunciation. I practice Spanish at home by reading simple books and writing short sentences. I also use an app on my phone to learn new words every day. Learning a new language is not easy, but it is fun. I hope to visit Spain one day and use my Spanish to talk to people there. Thank you for listening. Now let's check your understanding. Questions. What language is Stuart learning? What does Stuart do in his Spanish class? Where is Stuart's teacher from? How does Stuart practice Spanish at home? Why does Stuart want to learn Spanish?
Hello again. Today, I want to talk about my first job. Last year, I worked part-time at a small cafe in my town. I worked there after my university classes and on weekends. My job was to take orders, serve food and drinks, and clean the tables. At first, I was a little nervous, but my coworkers were friendly and helped me learn. I enjoyed talking to the customers and making coffee. Sometimes the cafe was very busy, and I had to work quickly. I learned how to work as part of a team and how to solve problems. I also learned to be patient and polite. I saved some money from my job and bought a new laptop for my studies. My first job taught me many important skills. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. Where did Stuart work for his first job?
Today, I want to talk about visiting the dentist. Last month, I had a toothache. My mother made an appointment for me at the dentist's office. When I arrived, the dentist asked me to sit in the big chair. He looked at my teeth and took an X-ray. He found a small cavity and said I needed a filling. The dentist was gentle and explained everything he was doing. He fixed my tooth, and I did not feel much pain. After the visit, my tooth felt much better,
It is important to visit the dentist regularly and brush your teeth every day. Healthy teeth help you eat and smile with confidence. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. Why did Stuart visit the dentist? 2. What did the dentist find? 3. How did the dentist help Stuart? 4. How did Stuart feel after the visit? 5. Why is it important to visit the dentist?
Let me tell you about my favorite festival. My favorite festival is New Year's Eve. Every year, my family celebrates together at home. On New Year's Eve, we cook a special dinner and decorate the house with lights. We watch fireworks on television and listen to music. At midnight, we count down together and wish each other a happy new year. Sometimes we invite friends or neighbors to join us. We play games, eat snacks, and talk about our hopes for the new year. I like New Year's Eve because it is a time for new beginnings and spending time with loved ones. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What is Stuart's favorite festival? 2. How does Stuart's family celebrate New Year's Eve? 3. What do they do at midnight? 4. Who sometimes joins the celebration? And 5. Why does Stuart like New Year's Eve?
Today, I want to talk about a day without technology. Last month, my university had a No Technology Day. We were asked not to use our phones, computers, or TV for one whole day. At first, it was difficult. I wanted to check my messages and listen to music, but soon I found other things to do. I read a book, went for a walk, and played board games with my family. I also spent more time talking with my parents and sister. We cooked dinner together and told stories. I realized that I can enjoy life without technology sometimes. It was a good experience, and I learned to appreciate simple things. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What special day did Stuart's university have? 2. What was difficult for Stuart at first? 3. What did Stuart do instead of using technology? 4. Who did Stuart spend more time with? 5. What did Stuart learn from this experience?
Let me tell you about my favorite teacher. Her name is Mrs. Carter. She was my English teacher in high school. Mrs. Carter is kind, patient, and always ready to help her students. She made learning English fun.
We played games, read stories, and watched movies in class. Mrs. Carter always encouraged us to speak and ask questions. She believed that everyone could learn if they tried. When I had problems with my homework, she explained things clearly. She also gave me good advice about studying and life. I am grateful for her support and guidance. Mrs. Carter inspired me to work hard and believe in myself. Thank you for listening. Now let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What subject did Mrs. Carter teach? 2. What did Mrs. Carter do to make learning fun? 3. How did Mrs. Carter help Stuart with homework? 4. What kind of advice did Mrs. Carter give? 5. How did Mrs. Carter inspire Stuart?
Hello again. Today, I want to tell you about a day at the zoo. Last summer, my family and I visited the city zoo. We took the train in the morning and arrived when the zoo opened. The zoo was big and had many animals. We saw lions, tigers, elephants, and giraffes. My favorite animals were the monkeys. They jumped and played in the trees. My sister liked the penguins. We watched them swim and eat fish. We walked around the zoo and took many photos. At lunchtime, we ate sandwiches and fruit at a picnic area. In the afternoon, we watched a show with sea lions. They did tricks and made everyone laugh. Before we left, we visited the gift shop. I bought a small toy lion as a souvenir. It was a fun and interesting day. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. Where did Stuart's family go last summer? What animals did Stuart see at the zoo? Which animals did Stuart like best? What did Stuart's family eat for lunch? What did Stuart buy at the gift shop?
Today, I want to talk about my favorite childhood memory. When I was 8 years old, my family went on a holiday to the seaside. We stayed in a small house near the beach. Every morning, my sister and I played in the sand and collected seashells. We built sand castles and swam in the sea. In the evenings, we walked along the beach and watched the sunset. One day, my father took us on a boat ride. We saw dolphins swimming in the water. It was amazing. I felt very happy and free. This holiday is my favorite childhood memory because I spent time with my family and enjoyed the beauty of nature. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. Where did Stuart's family go for their holiday? What did Stuart and his sister do on the beach? What did they see on the boat ride? Why is this memory special to Stuart? How did Stuart feel during the holiday?
Let me tell you about a visit to the market.
Last Saturday, my mother and I went to the local market in our town. The market is open every weekend and has many stalls. We bought fresh fruits and vegetables like apples, oranges, carrots, and tomatoes. We also bought bread, cheese, and some flowers for our house. The market was busy, and there were many people shopping. I like the market because you can find many different things. The sellers are friendly and sometimes give us good prices. My mother and I talked to some of the sellers and learned about their products. After shopping, we had a cup of tea at a small cafe near the market. It was a nice morning. Thank you for listening. Now let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. Who did Stuart go to the market with? 2. What did they buy at the market? 3. Why does Stuart like the market? 4. What did Stuart and his mother do after shopping? 5. When is the market open?
Today, I want to talk about my favorite animal. My favorite animal is the dolphin. Dolphins live in the sea and are very smart and friendly. I like dolphins because they are playful and can do many tricks. They swim fast and jump out of the water. Sometimes they help people who are lost at sea. I have seen dolphins at the zoo and on TV, but I hope to see them in the wild one day. Dolphins live in groups and communicate with each other by making sounds. They eat fish and sometimes play with other sea animals. I think dolphins are amazing animals, and I want to learn more about them. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What is Stuart's favorite animal? Where do dolphins live? Why does Stuart like dolphins? How do dolphins communicate? What do dolphins eat?
Let me tell you about a typical day in my life as a student. I wake up at 7 o'clock and get ready for university. I eat breakfast with my family and then ride my bicycle to campus. My classes start at 9 o'clock. I have lectures in computer science, mathematics, and English. I take notes and ask questions when I do not understand something. At lunchtime, I eat with my friends in the cafeteria. After lunch, I have more classes or work on group projects. When my classes finish, I go home
and do my homework. In the evening, I relax by watching TV or reading a book. Being a student is sometimes hard, but I enjoy learning new things and spending time with my friends. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. What time does Stuart wake up? 2. How does Stuart go to university? 3. What subjects does Stuart study? 4. Where does Stuart eat lunch? 5. What does Stuart do in the evening?
Hello again. Today, I want to talk about volunteering. Last month, I volunteered at a local animal shelter. I wanted to help animals and learn something new. At the shelter, I helped feed the dogs and cats. I cleaned their cages and played with them in the yard. Some of the animals were shy, but after a while they became friendly. I also helped walk the dogs outside. The people at the shelter were kind and taught me how to care for the animals. I felt happy to help and see the animals healthy and safe. Volunteering was a good experience, and I hope to do it again. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. Where did Stuart volunteer? What did Stuart do at the animal shelter? How did the animals act at first? Who taught Stuart how to care for the animals? How did Stuart feel about volunteering?
Today, I want to tell you about a family celebration. Last weekend, my family celebrated my grandparents' wedding anniversary. They have been married for 50 years. We had a big dinner at their house. All my aunts, uncles, and cousins came. We decorated the house with flowers and balloons. My mother made a special cake, and everyone brought food to share. After dinner, we listened to my grandparents tell stories about their life together. We took family photos and played music. It was a happy and special day for everyone. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. 1. What did Stuart's family celebrate? 2. How many years have Stuart's grandparents been married? 3. What did the family do to decorate the house? 4. What did Stuart's mother make? 5. What did the family do after dinner?
Let me tell you about planning for the future. I think it is important to have goals and dreams. I want to finish university and find a good job. I also want to travel and see new places. To reach my goals, I make a plan. I study hard, save money, and learn new skills. I talk to my teachers and ask for advice. Sometimes I write my goals in a notebook to remember them. Planning helps me stay focused and work towards my dreams. Even if things are difficult, I try to stay positive and keep going. Thank you for listening. Now let's check your understanding. Questions. Why does Stuart think planning is important? What are some of Stuart's goals? How does Stuart work towards his goals? Who does Stuart ask for advice? What does planning help Stuart do?
Today, I want to talk about a walk in the forest. Last autumn, my friends and I went for a walk in the forest near our town. The leaves were red, yellow, and orange. The air was cool and fresh. We followed a path and listened to the birds singing. We saw squirrels and rabbits in the trees and bushes. We took photos of the beautiful scenery. After walking for an hour, we stopped by a small stream and had a snack. We talked and laughed together. Walking in nature made me feel calm and happy. Thank you for listening. Now, let's check your understanding. Questions. Where did Stuart and his friends go for a walk? What colors were the leaves? What animals did they see? Where did they stop for a snack? How did Stuart feel after the walk?
This is the last lesson in our Slow English Listening series. I want to say thank you for listening and learning with me. I hope you enjoyed the stories and learned new words and ideas. Learning English takes time and practice. Remember to listen, read, speak, and write as much as you can. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. Every day you will get better. I wish you good luck on your English journey. Keep working hard and never give up. Thank you for spending time with me. Goodbye and take care. Now, let's check your understanding one last time. Questions. What is this lesson about? What does Stuart wish for you? What advice does Stuart give about learning English? How can you improve your English? What does Stuart say at the end? Thank you again for listening to this long English practice. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. And if you want to learn more English with me, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Your support
helps me make more videos for you. See you in the next video. Goodbye.